If you're trying to lose fat and don't have a clue what to eat on a daily basis, I'm going to show you how you can fit all of this food within 1,600 calories. Yes, that is breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, and some chocolate and a cup of tea on an evening, all within 1,600 calories. Now, a lot of you at the moment are trying to track your calories, you're trying to lose fat, but you don't have a clue what to actually fit in your calories. I'm not only going to give you all the recipes, but tips along the way and a full structure that you can take away with you and repeat every single day so you can actually lose fat for good. So yeah, let's get into it and let's start with breakfast. Okay, first of all for breakfast, we're going to start it off with an omelette. Reason being, it is so high in protein. We can pack as many veggies in there as we possibly can, and it's going to fill us up. The volume that you get with this thing is absolutely insane. So let's start it off. We're going to get our veggies to begin with. Just literally pick whatever veggies you've got in your fridge. I've just picked up some tomatoes, some peppers, and some frozen peas. But the beauty with this is you can just pick whatever you want. Whatever you've got in the fridge, whatever you've got lying around, just whack it in the omelette. And honestly, every single time, it tastes 10 out of 10. So let's chop up our veggies, nice and easy. And if you want, on a morning, you could pre-chop all these in time for the morning, so that all you need to do is just whack it straight into the pan. And we've got our tomatoes. Next up, we've got our protein source. So today I'm going to be using some heck chicken sausages. You can use whatever you like in this recipe. You could put ham in there, cooked chicken, bacon, whatever protein source that you've got in. That's the beauty of this recipe. We can literally just chuck whatever we have in the fridge into the pan and that's you done. So first of all, we're just going to grab some oil, spray the bottom of the pan with that, and then our heck chicken sausages. I'm just going to use 2 today with my trusty pair of scissors. Just chop them straight in there. And then we're going to get that straight on the heat. Okay, so whilst the sausages are cooking away, we're going to pop the grill on, because to make this omelette even higher in volume, we're going to let it rise in the grill. So get your grill on the highest heat you can put it on. And then we're going to take all the veggies and pop them straight in the pan with the sausages. The trick with this is the more veggies you can fit in it, the better it's going to be for fat loss, because the volume is going to be really high without the calories being many more than what it would be if we added more eggs or added more sausages. So the more veggies you can fit in there, the best. And then we're going to make our an egg white mixture. So grab yourself 2 eggs. And this is a trick if you are cutting down, if you are losing fat, is instead of having like 3 or 4 eggs, have 2 eggs. And then volumize the rest of it up with egg whites. And egg whites are such a good hack when it comes to fat loss. Literally, for 100 grams, it's only 50 calories, but 10 grams of protein. So we're going to pop 100 grams of those egg whites into the jug. Give it a good whisker. And look how much more volume we just added to that. So literally 50 more calories. And if you're watching this, if you're someone who works on a morning and you need to be out the house straight away, you've got a commute to do, you could easily prep this before you start work, the night before, and just put it in the fridge and eat it cold if you want to. Again, if you do want to eat it hot, it literally takes 10 minutes to make. Wake up 10 minutes earlier and you've got yourself a fully cooked meal. And I always find when you are losing fat, having something that's savoury on a morning stops your tongue from like feeling that sweet tooth straight away. So for me, if I have something savoury in the morning, I'm not thinking about sweet things. Whereas if I have sweet things in the morning, I'm constantly wanting some more sugar, some more chocolate. So big hack, might work for you. Have something savoury in the morning, and I feel like it just stops that want for something sweet throughout the day, especially during the morning as well. And you'll find that this meal actually only has 9 grams of carbs in there. But again, when you're losing fat, I do find when you have a load of carbs in the morning, sometimes you get that kind of like slump feeling around about 10 a.m. When you kind of limit your carbs on a morning and fill it with like loads of fats, loads of protein, loads of volume, you kind of get that full feeling, but without that slump at like 10, 11 a.m, which will keep you going all the way until lunchtime. So once the veggies are looking all good in the pan, we're just going to pour the egg all over there. And the main thing with this is that we're literally just going to have it in the pan for like 2 seconds, just so the base of the omelette can kind of form in the pan. When we get to this point, we're going to pop all of our salt, pepper, seasonings, whatever you want to put on there. I'm just going to pop some salt and pepper on. And if you're fancying it, if you like a bit of heat, whack some chilies on there as well. And that's literally been on the pan for about 30 seconds. All we're going to do is take that off the pan and pop it straight in the grill. And what will happen is it'll just rise like a big frittata, and you're getting way more volume than what you would do with like a normal omelette that's really flat. And it just makes you feel like you're eating more, which makes you feel like a little bit more full. So yeah, let's see how that looks in about five-ish minutes into the grill, and then we'll get eating breakfast. Literally, after 5 minutes, we have got ourselves a huge omelette. We've literally tripled in size. It is a thick omelette, literally the size of my head, absolutely beautiful. And you've got that all for your breakfast. What I find is a really good tip as well when you are losing fat and you are trying to track your calories, you want to kind of eat your food a little bit slower than usual. And normally with an omelette, you kind of like fold it over, don't you, and have your omelette like that. But I always find if you kind of keep your omelette as a full circle, you're kind of having to cut more into it. Just a little tip. Sometimes it makes you feel like eating your food a little bit slower, which means you're making your body a bit more aware that you are eating rather than just wolfing it down and your body doesn't even know it. So that's our breakfast done. We're going to plate it up and then we're going to move on to lunch. Okay, now moving on to lunch. We want something that's going to be convenient, quick, and we can just whack together. This is so good if you're working from home. If you're wanting to pack lunch, you can literally do this in the morning, whack it together in the morning, or even on the evening before. But when you're losing fat, you want a mixture of a couple of things. You want convenience, so you'll actually make it. You want volume, you want protein, and you want something that you're actually going to enjoy. Because with all them things together, it's going to make the task way easier to actually do, rather than you thinking, oh my God, I have to eat like eggs and lettuce. You're not actually going to want to do it, and it's just going to be a task to want to do it. So we need to make it something that's actually going to be enjoyable. So today we've got ourselves a chopped chicken salad pitta. Now this is one of my favorite ways of putting together any sort of sandwich filling. Basically all we do is we get some cooked chicken. I've just got the pre-bought ones, but normally when I have had time in the week, I just pre-cook a load of chicken breasts, literally get a full pack of chicken, pre-cook them all, have them in the fridge, and then you can just take them out and put them in whatever you want. You've got a convenient protein source right there. But today I am just using the roast chicken slices. So all we're going to do, this is 130 grams, so we're just going to use it all. We're going to whack it straight on the board, along with a few more things. We've just got some salad here. So whatever salad you have in the fridge, I've just got some tomatoes, lettuce, and some cucumber. We're just going to pop that straight on there as well. Literally full tomatoes straight on the board. Bit of cucumber in there. Roughly chop this up into little pieces. Straight on the board. Then the last thing that we've got is some lettuce. Get a couple of leaves off the lettuce. Quickly give them a little wash to get all the shit off them. Cut the end bits off. And then this is such a fun task to do. Like if you ever want to just get things done really, really quickly when you're cooking, just whack it all on the board and just chop it all up together. So we've got all of our ingredients on there, and we're literally just going to get a knife and just chop everything up. So we get like this mixed concoction of everything together. And just keep chopping until everything kind of looks like mush together. Trust me, it's going to look good in the end, and it's going to taste even better. Literally just keep chopping away until everything kind of combines together in little pieces. I know it literally looks like some sort of like baby food concoction right now, but you've got to trust the process. So we've got the filling done. We just need to make our sauce. Now for our sauce, it's going to be a concoction of 3 things. We've got our Greek yogurt, sweet chili sauce, and some mayonnaise. The reason that we use the Greek yogurt is to basically create like a mayo type of sauce, but with more volume. Because if you look at the calories on the mayo, for 100 ml, there is 682 calories, whereas for yogurt, 100 grams is only 95 calories. So it's literally like, what, 1/6 of the calories for the same amount of volume, and it's going to taste the exact same, trust me. So what we're going to do, get our yogurt. A really good trick if you are tracking your calories and you're doing something like this, grab your weighing scale, pop it down, put the thing that you want to weigh on top of the weighing scales, and then set that to 0. Now, anything that you take out of this yogurt pot is going to appear in the minus, so you're not having to like weigh it in another bowl and then transfer it over to wherever you need it. You can just take it straight out of the yogurt bowl, and then whatever you have is in the minus. We need 50 grams, so 53 will do. Again, with the mayonnaise, you just pop the mayonnaise straight on there, set it to 0, and then whatever you squirt out, it'll appear in the minus. So we need 10 grams of mayo. That's 6, 4 more grams, a little bit more. Cool, 10. And then again, with the sweet chili sauce, we want 10 grams of that. Pop it to 0, whack that on. We got 15, I'm sure we can deal with that. Right, from here, we're just gonna go and do the exact same thing. Literally just stir this sauce all the way in. We've already got the board messy, so it's fine if we just make it a little bit more messy. It saves us washing up. You could transfer this to a bowl and just mix it in there, but you know me, try and like to limit the washing up as much as possible. And there we have it. There is your sandwich filling. So all we're going to do from here is we're going to transfer it straight to the pitta. Now, if you're watching this and maybe you've got a little bit of a smaller calorie goal than 1,700 calories, you could easily just skip the pitta if you wanted to and just have that sandwich filling on its own. Maybe you could have it with half a pitta. Maybe you could just add a few more lettuce leaves and have it as like a salad. And it's so filling. I mean, look at the amount of volume that we've got on the tray there. Like, that's going to fill you up so much. We're just going to grab a pitta, open it up, and basically just shovel as much of this in the pitta as you possibly can. And there we have it. Look at the size of that pitta. Look how much we've filled in that pitta. We have got a bit more left. You can just eat that, take it with you, have it on the side, whatever you want. But that comes to just over 500 calories. It's got nearly 60 grams of protein in, which is absolutely unreal. And I promise that's going to keep you full all the way up until our mid-afternoon snack, which we're going to be going on to next. Okay, now it's time for our afternoon snack. Now, if you're thinking that you're having to live on like 3 meals a day, not eat anything in between those meals, like, you are honestly wrong. One big mistake that I see across loads of people when they're trying to lose fat is they just try and eat as little as possible and try and restrict themselves from basically absolutely everything, and don't actually listen to their hunger cues, don't actually listen to where their bodies are maybe feeling that hunger a little bit more. And one thing for me and for a lot of other people is mid-afternoon. Like, when that mid-afternoon craving comes in, it is game over for some of us. And what usually happens is we start off with a little pick here and a little pick there. Maybe we're going to get a little 100-calorie bar, and then that doesn't satisfy us, so we're going to get another little nibble here and nibble there. And once we've actually put all them nibbles together, you're probably having something that's about 300 to 400 calories when you could have had and made yourself a good meal that's actually going to satisfy you. So instead of ignoring it and instead of trying to restrict it, let's just work with ourselves and let's add in another meal in the mid-afternoon. Because if I think about it, if you're having your dinner at, well, if you're not from the north, your lunch at 12 in the day, and then you're not having your tea or dinner on the evening until like 6 p.m, you've got a whole 6-hour slot without any food. Like, no wonder we're craving and we're hungry at 3 p.m. Let's work with ourselves and let's just add another meal in there. So today I'm going to show you my Eat and Mess style yogurt bowl. This is absolutely unreal, and I guarantee you've got all the ingredients in your house already. We've just got some good old Greek yogurt. I am using 5% Greek yogurt. If you do want to save on some of the calories, have the 0%, but I do think the 5% one just hits the spot a little bit more. We're just going to weigh out 200 grams of Greek yogurt. One thing that I will say, if you are tracking your calories and if you are trying to lose fat, make sure you use the weighing scale. So many people just guesstimate and they just whack a little bit in here and there and they just think, yeah, that'll be about 200 grams. It's not, it's maybe 400 grams. If you're thinking, oh, why am I not losing fat? Oh, I'm tracking my calories, I'm doing everything, but nothing's happening. If you're not weighing your food out, you're gonna be so off track with everything, because we can only guesstimate so much with our eyes. We need the weighing scales to tell us exactly how things are and exactly what we've got in there. 200 grams of the good old Greek yogurt. Then we've got some frozen raspberries. Absolutely love these. I feel like when you have frozen raspberries versus normal raspberries, it gives that little sour taste that just gets your taste buds tingling. We're gonna have 50 grams of frozen rasps. Lovely. And then if you haven't discovered the meringue yet, I need to get you onto it. So one meringue is about 40 calories, which is absolutely insane. It gives us that really nice sweet taste and the crunch that we want in our yogurt. So all we're going to do is just literally take one meringue and just crumble it up in the yogurt, and you'll see how this looks. It is unbelievable. Oh my God, just look at that. And then just to finish it off, we're just gonna have a tiny little bit of honey drizzled all over. We're literally gonna put in 5 grams of honey, drizzle that all over the top. And now we've got ourselves a yogurt bowl that is, look at the size of that, look at the volume that we've got in that. We've got our protein in the yogurt, we've got our volume in the fruit, we've got our sweet tooth crunch element of the bowl in the meringue and the honey, and that is gonna fill you up all the way until tea time. We have got 200 calories in that dish, 20 grams of protein, and honestly, that compared to a few skinny whip bars that you normally have, this is gonna be a game changer. You can prep it when you're at work, you can eat it on the go. It is so versatile. Make sure you have an afternoon stack. Let's throw them bars in the bin. We don't want any more of them. And let's actually fill ourselves on an afternoon to keep us full all the way up until dinner time, which we're gonna move on to next. So we are now up to dinner time. We've had our breakfast, we've had our lunch, we've had our afternoon snack. We're feeling good, we're not feeling hungry. We've satisfied our cravings, and we're about to dig into one of the best pasta meals you've ever tasted in your life. Not only, yes, can we have pasta when we're losing fat? Yes, we can. It's so quick, we make it all in one dish. Like, we put the dry pasta in this one pan and it cooks perfectly all the way through. What we're gonna do, grab ourselves a pan, we're gonna cover it in some spray oil, and all we're gonna do is pop veggies of choice in here. So I've just got some peppers and onions. We're just gonna pop them straight in and just let them sizzle away in the pan just to get a bit browned off before we put the mince in. So get them put onto the stove. My biggest tip with this one as well, like with everything else, is to make sure that you're packing it with as many veggies as you possibly can. When we are going to be weighing out the pasta, it's not going to look like much. Once it cooks, once we've got all the veggies in, it does actually come out to quite a substantial amount of food. So biggest tip when you are using something like pasta, we can obviously eat pasta when we're losing fat, of course we can eat whatever we want, but pasta is one of those foods where you can easily chuck a lot on the plate. We can easily like plate out a lot and not notice it. So we are tracking, we are wanting to weigh things out. We just have to kind of make compromises where possible and actually bulk it up with other foods, but still having our pasta element. So we don't need to miss out on it. We just need to make a few compromises here and there to still make it work. Next thing that we're gonna pop in, once the veggies have kind of sauteed a little bit, is some beef mince. Now this is the 5% beef mince. Another big tip when you are losing fat is to swap out all your meats to the lower fat percentage meats. Fat isn't bad, like high fat isn't bad at all. The biggest goal with fat loss is our volume. So if we can get 5% fat beef mince, and then we can maybe have another form of fat an hour another time, it means we're just having more food, which is going to keep us more satiated. That's the biggest goal, to have more food with the same amount of calories. So we're going to save calories by using the 5% beef mince. Along with the veggies, you're going to whack in some lazy garlic and some lazy chilies. That's going to make it taste just way better. And another tip when we're trying to lose fat is try and get your flavors from things like spices, garlic, chili. Once we start adding in like more oils and like pre-packaged sauces, that's when it can start and like rack up the calories. So try and keep it simple to the spices of everything that we know, basically all the whole foods. Now what I'm making here is to literally just serve one person. If you're making this for your family, you can easily just bulk up all the ingredients, make it in the exact same pan, and it still works. Just literally multiply the ingredients by however many people you're making it for, and it should work perfectly. So for this one, we're gonna want 150 grams of beef mince. So we're just gonna weigh that out. Once the veggies are nice and sauteed on the pan, we're just gonna whack in the beef mince and just literally let that cook away. Once the beef's in, we're just gonna add some salt and pepper, along with some good old paprika as well. If you want, you can just add a taco mix seasoning packet, but I don't have any in. This still does the exact same job. Salt, pepper, paprika, a bit of chili. You kind of get the same sort of flavours in there. Once the beef is looking good, we're now going to add in the tomato passata. I've just got a jarred based tomato sauce. These are absolutely fine to use. I know sometimes on social media they're deemed as bad. You shouldn't eat jar sauces, they're bad for you, but honestly, they're not as bad as you think calorie wise. I always like to look at the back and just make sure that the ingredients are kind of all natural. This one from Heinz is really good. It's literally just got olive oil in, tomato puree, onion, celery, carrots, and that's it basically. But a lot of them sometimes have a lot of shit in them. I would suggest you look for the one that doesn't as much as possible. Obviously if you do, like, it's not the end of the world, but that's what I always try to do. We're literally just gonna add 150 grams of that in there. Use our scales as that weighing element there as well. And then we're just gonna get that straight back onto the heat. Right, next thing we're going to do is weigh out our pasta, and it's so important that we weigh out our pasta because of this exact reason. First of all, let me show you what it's like when we don't weigh out pasta. So we've got our pasta, we think, oh yeah, we're just going to put a bit in there. That looks about right. That looks like, you know, the amount that we want. Now, let me show you how much that actually weighs. That weighs 85 grams. Now, that isn't the end of the world. What I would say, if you are tracking your calories, you might think, oh yeah, that's just like a serving. That's fine. Whereas if you don't weigh it, you're going to just put that down as a serving, and that's where you could be creeping up your calories without even knowing it. A massive thing that people do is they don't weigh their ingredients out, like pasta, like rice. These ones are actually, you feel like what you're pouring out isn't actually that much. When you do weigh it, it actually isn't what we think it is. So it takes 2 seconds to get your weighing scales out. I would always suggest you do it. So we're going to need 50 grams of pasta for this one. Like I said, it doesn't feel like a lot, but once we do mix it in with the veggies, once we have it all as a meal, it actually is enough for what we need it for. So that's 50 grams of pasta. All we're going to do, really good trick when you are doing this, is just whack it straight in the pan. And instead of cooking the pasta in another dish, we're just going to cook it in with the water and the sauces that's in that dish already. Along with that, because we need a little bit more water in there for the pasta to cook, we're going to get about 150 ml of water and pop that straight in the pan with everything else as well. We might just want to keep an eye on this as it is cooking, just to ensure that the pasta's cooking in case we need any more water. Once it cooks away, the pasta will absorb all the water and it'll come out nice and juicy. Get yourself a lid, pop that straight on the pan, and in about 5-10 minutes, that pasta should be absolutely perfect. Okay, so literally 10 minutes later, pasta is fully cooked. Just look at that. Like, we've not had to cook the pasta in another pan. It's all been whacked in one pan, cooked in all one pan, done in all one pan. And even if you wanted to, you could eat it out one pan as well if you were that in a rush, if you couldn't bother to do your dishes. All we need to do now is pop our cheese on there. Sprinkle of cheese. Just gonna pop that right on the pan again with the lid on for literally 2 seconds to let that cheese melt through. And that is it all done. Just look at that. Wow. Literally all that portion for yourself whilst losing fat. It's absolutely insane. It comes with just over 500 calories, got over 35 grams of protein in, and that's going to keep you full for the entire evening. So we're going to plate that straight up. I'll be able to show you how much of a big portion this is. Not only that, we are going to pair it with some broccoli as well. All that, it's going to keep you full. And a lot of you are probably thinking, Bethany, but that's 500 calories whilst I'm trying to lose fat. Like, surely we should be trying to keep our calories at like 300 a meal, 400 a meal. But that is exactly why you're failing. That's exactly why you're doing it wrong. Because you're having meals big enough for like a 2-year-old, it's not keeping you full. Like 300 calories for a meal is not going to keep you full until the next meal. So what's happening is you're going to get your snack bars, you're going and picking on different things. Whereas if you actually just fill your meal with like 400 to 500 calories, you're gonna feel satisfied, you're gonna feel satiated to a point where you don't feel like you need any more snacks in between. Have bigger meals, have maybe less snacks, and you'll be able to feel more satisfied with your food and you'll actually be full. The biggest thing is trying to keep your hunger levels down, because when we're hungry, we're like monsters and we just want to eat everything. When we basically align our day around our hunger and work with ourselves, that's actually where the magic happens. So that's our dinner. All done. And before we end this day, we've got one more, probably the most important thing to finish the day off with, and that is a square of dark chocolate. Now, if you have a sweet tooth on an evening, I know I do, I sit down with Netflix on with a cup of tea and I'm like, I could just do with something sweet right now. Get yourself some dark chocolate. Sometimes I pair it with like a load of berries, a load of fruit, so that you're having basically the volume and some like that picky feeling, but you're getting your chocolate fix as well. And I think most of the time we're not actually hungry on an evening, we just want food for the sake of having food. Have your chocolate, pair it with some fruit while you're having, you know, sit down on the sofa whilst you're chilling away. you're getting that craving of like wanting to feed yourself with something, wanting to pick on something, but you're not filling it with calories, which is a huge hack. We're literally just gonna have 10 grams of chocolate. It's not that much. It's not a whole bar like maybe we usually do, but it's still gonna give us that little chocolate fix that we feel like we need. So again, just weighing it out. There we go. 10 grams of chocolate. We're gonna have that with a cup of tea, bowl of fruit, chill on the sofa, and that's our day done. That's us done. That's a full day of food for 1,660 calories. It's got over 160 grams of protein in as well. You will be full to the brim once you've eaten this. The thing is with this, you can repeat it every single day. There's so many variants you can make with all these meals, and you basically just need to use this as a placeholder for every single day. Use the 4-meal method. Basically replace what I've done here with your own versions of these meals, and I promise you, with using a structure like this, it'll make calorie tracking, fat loss so much easier. If you want some more ideas like this, let me know below what calorie goal you're working towards, and I'll make sure to do that next time. And if you want some more recipes instantly, I've got my recipe ebook, which I'll link below, which you can grab and get hundreds of my recipes, every single tip, every single calorie, every single method that you need down below. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, and I'll see you later.